So today we're going to be just creating a simple video to show the process of creating your value scales. This was the assignment that was assigned today, and then I happened to think, you know, I'll just do a quick, see if I can do a fast forward kind of video to show you how to do this. So I have my paints, and you can see now this time I'm going to use, since we're running low on paints, I'm going to use just some cheap acrylic paint that I bought from Michael's, and you can see I have white and black, and then I have my primary colors as well. So I'm just going to put some of those on my palette, and again I'm just using a little plastic plate. Don't need much black because black just changes the color really quickly. We're going to start with the blue, so I'm going to go ahead and start with just painting that blue right in the center. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on my brush, and remember, right in the middle is where you're going to paint the actual color. Now I'm using kind of a square flat brush just because it covers really quickly and it's kind of square already, so it just really fills in easily. All right, that's all I'm doing is painting that blue. So that's my actual color there. And now I'm going to add, I'm going to start mixing going this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my color, and I'm just going to put it over here so that I can mix with that. Okay, now it doesn't matter at this point if you have blue on your brush, but remember, always pull from the edge of your brush.
Hey guys, good to see you guys. Got about 3 minutes. Got lots of responses.
Let me turn that down. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and so we're just going to pull some white, and we're just going to mix a little bit of white right here into my blue. We want to change the color just a little bit. We don't want to change it much, so I'm going to pull just a little bit of white. Now another thing that you can do is actually, especially if you're trying to get a really light mix quickly, you don't want to add white into your blue. You get a much quicker change if you take and add blue into the white. Okay, but I don't want a really big change right away. I just want kind of a little bit of a change so that you can see the difference. And notice I'm kind of getting my brush down in there so that I can really mix that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the next one, and you should be able to tell just a little bit of a color difference there. Okay, you can see how that one is a little lighter. That is the change in the value, and so we are creating tints moving this direction, and so we're just going to continue. You can watch and you can just see I'm going to pull in a little bit more white, and we're going to lighten that up even a little bit more, and we're starting to get a really pretty kind of baby blue here, and you want to make sure that you mix it really well. Okay, and then get enough on your brush that you are able to fill in that next one. Now I don't really see enough change in that one, so I'm going to go back and add a little bit more white, just because I only have 2 more spots left, and I really want to see a difference in the color there. So I'm going to mix in a little bit more white until I get it a little bit lighter where I want it to be. Okay, and then remember, you want to make sure that you mix it. You don't want to be mixing on the paint on the paper. All right, yeah, see, there we go. Now that's lighter. Okay, all right, now so we have a little bit lighter value, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn over here to the white, and I'm just going to take and mix in what was on my brush so that I can really lighten that up, and I'm going to pull in quite a bit of white. Now this brush unfortunately is sucking up a lot of paint, so there's a lot of blue in my brush, so it may take a little white. If you want to rinse your brush, that would probably be a little bit better for you guys, just because you won't be having to use as much white, especially since we only have those little tubes. All right, so now I have a pretty good color, a lightened blue, and you should be able to tell that now we're getting pretty light. And if I wanted to go even lighter, I could. I'm going to stop there because I think that's enough of a change that you can actually see how the color has changed. Now I'm going to start working on those lighter, okay, the lighter section. Not the lighter section, excuse me, the darker section. Now we want to start making shades. So I'm going to rinse my brush. We want to make sure that we don't have any paint in our brush. Okay, and remember that the way to check and see if you got all the paint, and I can actually look at that and see, you guys can see, I don't know if you can tell, it's not zooming to get a good picture there. So we want to make sure that we have all of that out. So we want to really scrub that around on the bottom of our thing. And then we want to just check it and see. Okay, see, you can see here that I have some blue mark on there. That means, oh, didn't quite clean it out, Miss Johnson. Better try that again. Okay. I'm going to try it one more time and we'll see. That's looking a little bit better. All right, you see I still have a little bit of blue. That's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually start adding in a little bit of black. And we're going to start working on our shades. And as you can see, I've let my paint sit and get a little too dry because I had a meeting to go to. So we're going to start with just a, actually I'm probably just going to add right into my blue, and I'm just going to mix in some black, just a little bit of black, because black is one of those colors that really quickly changes everything. So you want to make sure that you're not putting a whole lot of black. You always want to start with a small amount, and you should see a little bit of a difference, but not a whole lot. If you put too much black, it's going to change it really quickly and you can't go back. All right, so you can see that that one's a little darker. You should see a nice little change in value there. And now I'm going to just continue to add a little bit more black until it gets a little bit darker. And try not to do what Miss Johnson did, and that's leave my paint too long, because now it's nice and dried. And you can see that we have gotten a little bit darker. We have a nice dark blue now. So we're going to add just a little bit more black. And I'm going to try to really darken this up this time. I don't want to get it to black. I still want it to be a dark blue. But I do want it to be a dark blue. Okay. Now I'm seeing that I'm going to put a little bit more in there. We're going to make it a little bit stronger black. We want it to just have just a little bit of a blue to it. All right. Now the thing about your mixing, whenever, especially if you're mixing for your painting, you want to mix a larger amount. So if you have like an egg carton, that makes a really good place to mix paints. You can actually mix the colors that you want ahead of time so that you have plenty. You don't want to run out of paints. If you run out of paints, you can always pick up, if your parents are willing, you can always pick up some acrylic paints in the craft section at Walmart. But there's our blues, and you can see we started with our original blue and we added white gradually to get those tints, and then we gradually added blacks to get those shades, and that's that. Now I'm going to rinse my brush really well, and I'm going to go ahead and paint those the yellow and the red, and I'm not going to talk through that. I'm just going to paint, and then we'll kind of fast forward through those. So you can see here my water is getting really yucky. Probably going to go rinse that pretty quickly, but I want to make sure and get all of my paint out. Don't want any blue left in there, because if I mix that with the red, what am I going to get? Purple. Don't want purple. Okay, still having a little bit of blue there. All right, I'm going to pause this and go rinse my cup out and get some fresh water.